and mentor for the main character. And the main character that the players play is a dryad sort of spirit being, created by the tree in this time of need where there's a lot of animals that need someone's help. And the player is going to be the person helping them. So you're a mystical creature created in a time of need by a tree of life to help animals. Do you have any superpowers? Well, you can say that. We gave them the option of shapeshifting. Now, this is here not only as a cool game feature, but we also put it there because there's a catch to it. In order to gain the shape-shifting options through the game and morph into different animals to use their powers, sometimes size, sometimes agility, sometimes speed, you will need to prove to the tree that you have learned the way of the animal. So in order that you respect the animal enough that you can now morph to it. And we also designed the quests around this. So while you're playing the game, you're using this shapeshift option to solve the puzzles. And in order to gain the knowledge for the shapeshifting, we designed the quests that you learn through while playing them. Not only by dialogues or they actually asking questions, but also to observing the game while you play it. So now I'm going to take you through a little demo level that we made for, well, the purpose of showing off how this is implemented. We start the demo level in a cave where the ancient tree is. We couldn't really put it outside for everybody to see. And it explains how there's a rock that fell on its root. And this level is actually a little bit further on in the game because the player here already has some of the shape-shifting options because we needed to show it off. And the tree asks you to politely move the rock since it's tickling it so hard that its fear is gonna lose all of its leaves due to laughing too hard. But unfortunately, at least so far, you do not have an animal that is powerful enough to move that rock. However, there's a baby elephant that is right now stuck somewhere around the cave, and you need to go help it, giving you the opportunity to go and learn about that specific animal. So, you move around exploring the environment in search of the baby elephant that is in trouble, and one of the puzzles, for example, where we use the shape-shifting option, is you need to cross a river. The river is full of predators, so swimming is not really a good option. And the river is quite wide, so you cannot really jump over it in your other forms. But if the player remembers, the lions are quite agile. They can jump further than the other forms. They can morph into the lion, and by that, jumping over the river. So when you finally find a little baby elephant, it explains how it lost its herd. It says, I was playing and eating, and when I looked around, they were gone. And it doesn't help that we elephants don't see that well. So this way you can see how you learn through dialogues that baby elephants are playful and they sometimes lose the herd. And also that elephants don't really see that well. Moving on, trying to find the baby elephant's herd, you will run into some baboons. The baboons explain how they're very thirsty on this hot day. They cannot find water anywhere. And the baby elephant gets all upset and thinks they're quite stupid because its mother taught it how to dig for water in the mud using its trunk. So it does that, and the baboons then are allowed to drink that water. So here the player learns through observation that elephants can indeed use their trunk to dig up mud and then drink for the water. In exchange for drinking the water that the elephants dig up, the baboons alert the baby elephant on the road to finding the herd that there are lions on one of the paths and not to use it. This is something that happens sometimes in nature. Elephants and baboons live in a sort of symbiosis sometimes where the elephants let the baboons drink the water that they find and they use the baboons' alert system screaming in order to be informed when there's predators close by. It's called Predator Watch. After that, the baby elephant and the player finally find the missing herd. The mother elephant gets very upset because she notices the baby elephant is completely, clean, and advises it to throw some dirt on its back. Because elephants use dirt as a sort of a sunscreen on hot days so they don't get too warm. This is another example how the player can learn through observing the other dialogues, but also the mother, since you helped the baby elephant, lets you ask some questions, general questions about elephants. So through the quest you can, as I explained, learn through the direct reaction questions, through observations, and through the dialogues that you make. So how do you finish a quest? Well, you go back to the tree, and as I said, the tree is sort of a mentor and teacher. And the tree will ask you questions about what you learned on your road. For example, it can ask you how good is an elephant's vision? And as the baby elephant once mentioned, is not that good. So when the tree is happy with all the answers that you provided, and you proved that you have in fact learned enough about one specific animal, it grants you the animal's shape-shifting ability. And now politely asks you again to move the rock from the route. But I did mention one more thing, and that was the GPS data that we are getting from Internet of Elephants. So this is implemented to the protector achievement. You see, once you help a specific animal, the tree will grant you the protector achievement, meaning that you can tap into the tree's connection to the entire world and see the animals that you already helped in the game. And by hovering over the world map, which is actually the world map representing where the actual animals are at this specific time, with a short delay, of course, for some reasons, you can see what the real elephant you helped, its name, its age, weight, what's it doing right now, sometimes fun facts, sometimes relations with other animals, also what's it been doing lately, is it looking for food, also fun facts about elephants or other animals that you helped, simply by hovering through it. And we believe that this extra feature, the moment when you find out that the elephant or animal you helped in the game is actually a real animal in real life, also further helps to make that bond that is missing between children and animals these days. So that was Little Protector, educational game for children that teaches about wildlife, nature, and strengthens the bond and uses real GPS data on animals.